Welcome to another episode of Robert Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How you doing today? We want to get into some good news. Before 2 years, 2 Florida men were in prison for murder. Now they're free after the state tosses the case. Let's go back to this mass incarceration thing. Nathan Myers left with his uncle Clifford Williams during a news conference Thursday in Jacksonville, Florida. Clifford Williams Jr. was 34 and his nephew, Herbert Nathan Myers, was 18 back in May 1976. They were at a party in Jacksonville when the 2 men were shot in a nearby apartment, one of them fatally. The men were quickly arrested, convicted, and sentenced to life in prison. On Thursday, the state threw out the conviction and set them free. Now, a key word is 42 years, man. Williams and Myers shook hands and shared a long hug before emotionally joining family members gathered in the courtroom. Affiliate WF Fox reported Myers kissed the ground outside. "I'm nervous because I feel like I'm still locked up," he said. "Once I get with my family and know I can look back and the reality hits in, I'll think I'll be okay." In other words, this guy been in prison for 42 years. This is why I am an advocate for overturning the crime bill. And this is why I cannot support Joe Biden, because he prides himself in creating that bill. No defense witness or evidence. The woman who survived the shooting told police that Williams and Myers emptied their guns from the foot of the bed she shared with the murdered man. But you know, all us blacks look alike, right? But evidence showed the shots were all fired outside and from the same gun. Now let's go back to this. The woman who survived the shooting told the police that Williams and Myers emptied their guns from the foot of the bed she shared with the murdered man. But evidence showed the shots were all fired outside from the same gun. So there were not 2 guns and were not at the foot of the bed. This was done outside. Still, Williams and Myers were convicted of murder and attempted murder after a 2-day trial. 2-day trial. They were convicted of murder and attempted murder at a 2-day trial. So they convict them of the murdered person in the bed with her and attempted murder for her. Their attorneys presented no witnesses, no evidence. Although partygoers reported being with the men when everyone heard the shots that night, everyone heard the shots that night. In other words, while those guns were shooting off, those dudes were with other people. The pair always maintained their innocence throughout the trial, and the next 42 years they spent behind bars. They filed multiple failed motions of post-conviction relief, prosecutors said. Things began to change when they petitioned the Conviction Integrity Review Unit, which the state attorney created in 2017. Thank God for changing laws and creating platforms. Among the findings, another man reportedly confessed to people that he committed the murder and felt bad that Williams and Myers were in prison for it. The Conviction Integrity Review investigation report said the man died in 1994. The new unit review led to the first of its kind result, with the case being tossed. The Conviction Integrity Review Unit determined that it no longer has confidence in the integrity of the convictions, according to the press release from State Attorney Melissa W. Nelson. Williams, now 76, and Myers, 61. Imagine that. How old were you guys before this happened? 34 and 18, young black men in their prime that could have did something big in their life, that they could not do anything because somebody threw them and falsely imprisoned them. William now 76, Myers now 61. Were wrongfully convicted in the murder of Jeanette Williams, no relations, and attempted murder of Nina Marshall, Nelson's office said. Marshall died in 2001. Judge Angela Cox vacated their conviction and the state dismissed the indictment. A continued obligation to pursue justice. I lost almost 43 years of my life that I can never get back. That's a lot of years, people. And I'm not on camera for a reason, because I'm about to tear up. Because this happens in my community all the time. And I blame this on Joe Biden. And I blame this on Bernie Sanders for signing it. Again, he said he's going to overturn it. Joe Biden ain't trying to change nothing. Myers said in a report from state attorney, but I'm looking ahead. I'll focus on enjoying my freedom with my family. The state attorney established a conviction review unit in 2017 and began reviewing Myers' petition in 2018. Prosecutors said this is the first time an investigation by the unit has led to a release. We have a continuing post-conviction ethical obligation to pursue justice when we become aware of material evidence suggesting a conviction is not correct, Nelson said. This is why I say the crime bill is one of the most devastating pieces of legislation in history. It is actually a piece that declares a new form of slavery. What you got to understand is prison relies on funding, whether it's federal, state, or local or regional. They rely on funding from the government. That crime bill has in it things that they have to do in order to get funding. And a whole bunch of other things I'm not going to go into detail about. And I fought every Democrat. You know, most of the Democrats signed that legislation. This piece of legislation will make any racist proud. And now, buddy, we can get these blacks off the street there, buddy. Get them out of our neighborhoods and get them behind bars. Not all racists talk like that, so let me stop. Because I'm from the South and I got a lot of buddies talk like that. I even talk like that sometimes. So that's not racist language. But it identifies with Southern racism. Whether it's Southern racism, Northern racism, racism is racism. So-called white supremacy, which is no such thing, all that, it's worldwide. It's not just in the United States, not just in the South. It's hurt me. Because they would just throw us in jail with no evidence. You usually get a jury of the peers, but when we end up going to court, none of them are peers. Don't see no black men in I don't see a majority of black men in their 40s up there. Those are my peers. No, it's whoever we want to pick. And they make that judgment on you. And even without evidence, they can keep a person in jail 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And they have to fight to get somebody to review them, to finally look at their case. Sad. Laws have to change. And when there's somebody who say they're gonna focus on changing those laws, fixing those laws, they get my ear. Don't mean I'm gonna support them, but they get my ear. I'm willing to listen to you. I'm willing to listen to you. Like I said, most Democrats supported that bill. No, the Republicans don't support it. But if you talk about changing, and you got a systematic plan to change it, you got my ear. Sad. This is not the only story that's going around in America. I mean, you got Troy Davis. The man, a clear case of innocence, and they still They still executed this dude. Still executed him. Got a witness and they still executed this dude. Why? Why did they execute this dude anyway? It was a legal way to execute him, I guess. Ignore the evidence, ignore the witnesses. We just gonna kill him. Ignore these guys' evidence. We just want to lock them up because we need them in that jail to do things for us. We need the Jim Crow to take effect. We need somebody in there to clean these prisons, to make products for us because people are paying us for these things to be made. We need cheap labor. We need cheap labor. So how about let's just don't go there. This is happening all the time. This is a result of the crime bill, and this is why I cannot support Biden. And this is why I say Biden is worse than Trump on this. I'm not giving Trump a pass, but Trump did not develop this bill. Actually, now I'll talk about this one day, Trump is actually pushing a bill that's been sitting in legislation to reform it. There's nobody I can't chalk up a good for you in a column. It doesn't mean you're going to get my support. Doesn't mean I'm going to back you, and it doesn't mean I'm going to tell people to support you, but I will give you props when you do right by my community or when you fix something that you wrong in my community. I don't want to give you props. I'm just going to tell you it's the least thing you can do. This thing was sad. This is happening across America. That's why I said that bill need to be overturned, and Joe Biden shouldn't expect one black person in my book to give him any kind of attention until he at least make that statement, I'm going to overturn that system, and we're going to build a system that's more fair for everybody. And I won't be the chief architect of it. All right? All right, I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. We have to change these things. Now, what I'm going to do in the future, I'm going to show, I want to be a part of showing, I want to be part of letting people know their rights as American citizens. I want to be part of teaching in the communities. I'm starting a workshop called Before, During, and After Arrest, where I'm going to go into communities and teach people what to do and what not to do when confronted with police or dealing with the police. I'm going to show videos of people who are interacting with the police and using the law on their side. And as you know, below I do offer a program called Legal Shield, LS, Legal Shield, which is the largest legal entity that provides you instant access to attorneys 24 hours a day, and not just any attorney, but the top rated attorneys in the nation. And the services are as little as $13.95 a week. In New York City, I invest $13.95 on my standard legal membership subscription. It gives me 24-hour access to attorney, especially in emergency situations. So when a cop want to detain, arrest me, I have a right to call my attorney and call it right now and have my attorney deal with them on the phone. I don't have to answer any more questions, but some people don't have that. Some people don't have $13.95 a month to invest. So I try to educate them as much as I can through my workshop on how to handle a situation like that fairly and unaggressively. You know, you can be bold in your statement, but you don't have to seem like you're being hostile to the police. So I'm going to be teaching that all across various cities in the United States. And then I am going to offer this program because I think this program is very essential to you protecting and accessing, not only accessing your legal rights, protecting your rights, but executing your rights. You need to learn how to execute your legal rights. And attorney is that in-between man between you and the person that you're exercising your rights on. Without that, it's kind of hard for you to exercise it to its fullest extent, because you're going to still have this back and forth going on. But when the attorney is in the middle of it, that stops all that. So that's why I offer it. Take a look at the video down below. Not trying to get you to buy or join anything. I'm just trying to educate you on something that's there should you need it. I need it. I've been a member for over 10 years. I love it. And when I'm in a situation where I'm being approached by the police, I exercise my rights. And you should be able to do the same thing too. I don't want to see people go to jail for dumb reasons. And I think one of the dumb reasons why certain things happen because we have lack of adequate access to the justice system. Equal justice haven't been for all for a long time, but through this program, it makes it easier for equal justice to be available to all. I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. Peace. Hey, thank you for watching that episode of the Rob Report. Before you go now, I need you to do two things for me. First thing, I want you to like the video if you liked it. Second thing, I want you to share it all across social media. And if you have not subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. Stop and do it. As Jimmy Dore says, sometimes you think you're subscribed or you go check and find out you're not subscribed. So make sure you check that you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when I put a new content out. I'm not a fan of Super Chat, so if you plan on giving to the efforts of BOBTV, make sure you do that through BOBTV NYC at PayPal.me. Anybody who want to have free access to my Patreon channel, I'm trying to save you money on your cable bill. I ran into a program that I think everybody need, everybody can afford, and everybody should have, and that link is down there below. 5,000 plus channel, best sports package, and the best premium TV and even international channels, and you can access this all over the world. Go ahead and check that out, get your free trial, and if you decide to support, become members of those two services, we'll go ahead and give you full access to the Patreon channel, and there's no cost to it. So my name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Thank you for watching. I'll holler at you later. Peace.